Hey everybody, welcome back tonight. Um, this is this seems like it's going to be a repeat this year and through the years of the Republican Party's shenanigans yet again. A story coming out of North Carolina that I just happened to run into. I was sitting having my dinner and I saw this and I thought, oh my God, how does the mainstream media not have the fact that the Republican-controlled Supreme Court of North Carolina has just thrown one of its own members into disarray on Tuesday as it temporarily blocked the certification of the Democratic incumbent narrow victory. Yeah, one of their own won a re-election, and now the opponent, the person seeking to fill her position, has asked the Supreme Court of North Carolina to block the certification of her win. It goes back now to November. In November of 2023, Allison Riggs, a sitting Democratic Supreme Court justice in the state of North Carolina, was back up for re-election. And in November, like I said, she won by a very narrow margin of only 735 votes. But she did win. The count was certified that night. And then her opponent, Jefferson Griffin, demanded a recount. That 734, and I don't know what the total number of their election numbers were, so it could have well been within the required 1% or 2%. He demanded a recount, which he has the right to, and he got his recount, and he lost again. 734 votes remained the margin, and so through a legal process, he demanded an independent recount for a third time. And he got his third recount, and he lost yet again. I don't know how many times you have to be told you've lost. I guess our ex-president has, 62 tries? Maybe Mr. Griffin is trying to equal one of his party people. Griffin claims that some of the votes were illegitimate votes. He doesn't want to just throw out 700 or 800 or 1,000. He wants to throw out 60,000 North Carolina voters' rights. He wants to disenfranchise 60,000 people. Now, I am, as a side note, curious if he would have wanted those 60,000 thrown out, or that if he were willing to go back and look at who voted for him, based on the grounds that he's claiming that these people did not have a driver's license on file or did not have their social security numbers on file. He claims they're illegitimate voters. Well, Mr. Griffin, your laws weren't always as they are today. There were years back where you didn't have to have a driver's license on file, and you didn't have to have a social security number or all of your digits in line. And that was still legal. There's recent laws that changed all that. So these are people who are already registered voters of your area. But I'm not sure that Mr. Griffin wants to go back and count his people's votes. He hasn't said anything about that. He took it to a federal court, trying to jump the guardrails over into the federal land from state land, which again follows the pattern of such famous people as Mr. Trump, Mark Meadows, Oliveri, and a couple of other of the class clowns from the Washington and the Mar-a-Lago and the Arizona and the Florida issues. But I digress, okay? The federal judge remanded the matter back to the state Supreme Court, the very court that Allison Riggs sits on as a sitting judge, just reelected, and to the same Supreme Court that Mr. Griffin wants to be a member of. But Mr. Griffin, by the way, is an appellate judge in the state of North Carolina. Yeah, he knows the rules. But the Supreme Court of North Carolina is a 5-2 margin for Republicans. And he has talked to his mentor, who is sitting on the court also, that he wants to join, and they have agreed to hold another hearing about this. They're going to have arguments next month, so it'll be a couple of days before we get any answers back on this, and I will be watching it. But allowing it to be challenged in the Supreme Court sets up the possibility of overturning her election. Now, one of the justices from the court has come out and said that they accepting the matter does not signify that they are in agreement with Mr. Griffin. Roy Cooper, the state's former Democratic governor, has been very vocal about this matter, and he has come out and so much as lambasted the Republican Party wanting to toss out legitimate votes because they didn't like the outcome. Sound familiar? Yeah, it sounds real familiar to me. Reminds me of January 6th. Another justice by the name of Richard Dietz disagrees with granting the state because he says the issue comes too late. This matter was decided back in November. The people voted, he said, and they made their decision, and it should not be overturned. So basically what I've got here is a story that does not have an end to it yet today. It may not have an end to it for another couple of weeks, but I promise you I will be following this. This is reminiscent of different kinds of voter denial and voter actions taken by the Republican Party in recent years. When they can't win it fairly, they try and go in and gerrymander it, or they try and go in and claim that votes are illegitimate, or they try and claim that illegitimate voters were allowed in dead people, which the dead people weren't mentioned in this one. He just mentioned that he felt that 60,000 people didn't have the proper credentials. And again, I ask Mr. Griffin, have you checked on your people yet, the people that claim they voted for you? You can do a recount on them. Do they have driver's licenses and Social Security digits in place? I'd really like to know that. So anyways, folks, I'm going to cut it short tonight. I just wanted to get that out there. This one just happened to catch my eye, and I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Again, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for helping build my channel. Thank you for all my new subscribers. If you get a chance, because I see in the analytics that the majority of you are coming in and looking at this. I'm getting hundreds and thousands of views, and you're not subscribed. Please subscribe. Push the button for me. It would help me out here a whole lot. Anyways, thank you again, and good night.